Hi, I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music. Today we're going to talk about the perfect fourth below a root. First, we'll look at some fingerings and then we'll do some exercises. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, today we're talking about the perfect fourth below a root. I'm going to choose the root D and we're going to find the perfect fourth, that's G. If you don't know how to do this, please refer back to my video on the perfect fourth. Now, in context of a D scale, chord, or arpeggio, D will always be called the root, and the G will always be the fourth of that scale, chord, or arpeggio, no matter which direction we play that G in, meaning if D is root here, the fourth of D will always be G, and it could be in this direction below the root. So here's my root D and its fourth located below G. Now many of you are screaming at me now because you're really confused. I've already told you this is a fifth shape, so now how can it be the fourth below? This is where we finally dive into the topic of inverted intervals. Alright, bear with me here. I'm going to take a stab at explaining this whole inverted interval concept. Let's start with that same root D and find the fourth G. If I flip the order of the notes, G now to D, I end up with the fifth. Lesson number 1 in inverted intervals. They add up to 9. So if I start with the fourth, when I flip the two notes, I'll end up with a fifth. Fourth, fifth. They add up to 9. Now when you flip a perfect interval, you will end up with another perfect interval. Perfect fourth from D to G, perfect fifth from G to D. This isn't true though when you flip a major or minor interval. If you flip a major interval, you will end up with a minor interval. If you flip a minor interval, you will end up with a major interval. Let's look at a minor third. I'm going to use D and its minor third, F. So we should know that this is a minor third by now. If not, you need to go back and review those videos. Now, if I go from F to D, well, we haven't studied this interval yet, but we must have an idea that it's got to add up to 9. So here's my third, so 9 minus 3, it's got to be some kind of sixth. And I already said that if you flip a minor interval, you're going to get a major interval. So how is this a major sixth? Well, if I play up the major scale, in this case F, I will be at the 6th degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a major sixth. So if you flip a minor third, D to F in this case, you will get a major sixth. Now let's look at the case of a major interval flipped to be a minor interval. Here we go with a major second. I'm going to play the major second from D. Major second is a whole step, or the second degree of a major scale. Here's D, major second is E. This is a major second. Now, if I go from E to D, this must be some kind of seventh, because remember, inverted intervals add up to 9. So 9 minus 2 is 7. And we already said that if we started with a major interval, we're going to get a minor interval when we flip it upside down. So let's figure how this is actually a minor seventh. I'm starting on E, and I'm going to play up the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is a major 7, meaning the 7th from a major scale. A minor 7 is this 7 flatted. So that is a minor 7. you'll see I'm on the note D now. So from here to here is a minor 7th. So when we went from D to E, we had a major 2nd. When we went from E to D, we have a minor 7th. Again, they add up to 9. If you download the PDF that goes with this video, I have a little table that explains more about inverted intervals. All right, now that we've had the detour down the inverted interval highway, I'm going to bring us back to our topic, which is the perfect fourth below a root. So what I'm saying here is we have a chord, we have a scale, we have an arpeggio. We're trying to be able to consistently locate the fourth of that scale, chord, or arpeggio. In the case of D, that note will always be a G. Let's look at a D scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the fourth of a D scale. Even if I play a D scale backwards, the fourth is still going to be G. Here's the root D. Root 7, 6, 5, 4. There's my fourth G. So we're looking at this shape. Now, this shape will remain the same across the string sets with the exception of the tuning adjustment required between the second and the third string. Let's go ahead to the next string set. Here's G, and here's its perfect fourth below. That's a C. Here is a C, and here is the perfect fourth below the root C, that's F. Here is an E, and the perfect fourth below the root E is B. Notice the tuning adjustment. Finally, we have the root A, and the perfect fourth below A is D. Now let's look at some exercises. We're going to take the fingering we learned for the perfect fourth below a root and apply it to the root A flat and its perfect fourth below D flat, starting at the 11th fret, 5th string. Now, let's do the same for the root E flat and its perfect fourth below A flat, starting at the 6th fret, 5th string. All right, let's continue with this exercise from the root B flat. That will be B flat and its perfect fourth below E flat, starting from the 13th fret, 5th string. And for our final root, let's do F and its perfect fourth below B flat, starting at the 8th fret, 5th string. Well, that's it for the perfect fourth below a root. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.